Wonderful. All right, and you went deeper than you know, a wondrous journey to receive a gift and a color, certainly so. And you can repeat the meditation from time to time to recharge, to remember more and more of who you truly are. There, it is all in the energy. It is all in the resonance.
Tara, hi, it's Francis.
Yes, dear one.
Yeah, I haven't been feeling well lately. Is it my diet? Is it stress? You know, I've been pretty relaxed, but or so it would seem. Do you have any insights? Can you tune into me and tell me what you're seeing?
Certainly so. There is a bit of stagnation. And this is true for some of you who are not moving enough physically.
I see. Okay.
And so it is important to walk or to stretch. To get the lymph moving. For when the lymph moves, it is released from not just toxins, but also just negative energy, doesn't it?
Yes, yes.
And is there an easy way for you to do some sort of movement in your home?
Well, I have a little trampoline, they call it a rebounder, and I could jump, jump up and down on that. So that's not a problem.
Yes,
I just haven't felt very motivated, and today I had a wonderful chat with Kathy, and always, every daily chats with Katrina. What we've come up with is, I guess I feel lonely. I guess I'd like to, maybe bring a partner in. And so is that what you're sensing also?
That is jumping ahead of the current situation, because you know that this is not the time to meet someone new with the quarantine situation or the reluctance that people will have. But you can certainly reach out if you are looking for a romantic interest. There's online dating, of course. And this might be the time to start something like that, so that by the time it is easy to interact with people, and that date is coming. There are many of you who wonder, will it ever be over? Will it ever be the same? And we assure you, it will never be the same. But what you are creating and co-creating will be an improvement. Will be a step. And so, Francis, regarding your consideration of a companion, of a romantic partner, we would recommend that you begin something along the lines of an online dating experience, because what that does is it causes you to define who you are being and where you are heading, and also it causes you to define what sort of person would you like to be with. We don't want to say what kind of person do you want to attract to you, because that's just the first phase, isn't it? For in this instance, you are wanting someone who you will just not just attract, but also who you for a longer time. And that may be a different kind of person than someone who you just want to get to know and have fun with initially. And so consider the difference. And what you'll find is that those qualities that you have in your dearest friendships are qualities that you also want in a partner. So it's not a stretch to create it, is it? For you already have the experience of being loved and being accepted for who you are. You already have the of having fun and laughing. And now
Yeah,
you
it's
just
got to
have
be
to
somebody
add
you
the
can have
romantic
fun with.
component.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody with a good sense of humor and somebody who's very tolerant.
Absolutely.
It would be hard to meet somebody right now, Tara, with all the restrictions because everybody looks like a bank robber now. They all
Well,
have,
it would be hard to meet them on the street, but online, and that is why we recommend it, go ahead and set up a profile online through one of the reputable dating sites. Then you can do Zoom rooms or whatever is used these days, and you will find that you will be able to learn quite a bit about a person.
yeah,
And more
that's good
important, you
feedback.
will be able to share who you are.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Tara.
Certainly so. And we know it sounds like an obvious solution, but we've been working with you between them to open that up for you.
I've done some, online dating in the past with no success. In fact, just the opposite. The online dating thing, I guess, it seems by my beliefs, attitudes, choices, and decisions, I've attracted just the wrong kind of people I'm just not interested in.
Yes, well, you have changed quite a bit, haven't you?
Yes, I think, thank you. Yes, thank you for the acknowledgement.
Yes. And so who you will attract this time around will be different. Wonderful. All right then. And who is next?
I would be happy to get in line if someone else wants to go ahead, but I did have a question.
Yes, dear one. Please proceed.
Okay. I'm in Washington County, Oregon, and the decision on when to enter phase 1 is decided at the county level. And there are basically 5 different criteria to meet, and they've met all of them except one, which is to be able to hire about 150 to 180 contact tracers, and then they could enter phase 1. So they're giving themselves, like publicly, they're telling everyone that it should be early to mid-June, and that, before. And so, of course, I want to get back, I want the county to be open again for a number of different reasons. So I just felt a little bit thwarted and frustrated at the slow pace. So I'm hoping to kind of work with it in terms of to have it unfold where ahead of schedule, they would suddenly announce that, hey, we're having a lot of success hiring these contact tracers. It's not taking us 2 or 3 weeks. We figured out how to do it in just a few days, and we want to go ahead and open up 2 and get people up and running with their livelihoods again. So that's sort of what's I feel like I'm resisting or trying to work against. And I just wanted to add that people here, it's interesting, we've had a really low caseload, and yet the schedule of reopening is slow. And I don't sense that the people around here are frustrated or upset. I think they're really worried. So I don't mean to laugh at their fears, but I'm surprised. They're really, yeah, they're just more cautious. So I just wanted to ask you for your suggestions on what you see going on in Washington County, Oregon. I want to get back to exercise and have that studio reopen. I know they want to open up. A lot of people, just the health benefits are there. And so working out on my own, you sort of notice the difference. So anyway, I'll turn it over to you.
Very good. And certainly so. As we were speaking with Francis about movement, how important it is. And ultimately that is what is going to open up much of your world to you, is that for human beings to be in balance physically, to be part of the physical world, to be interacting, it is part of the healing, isn't it? So, for instance, ironically, when there is a virus, it is through contact that people develop immunity. And there is an understanding that that is also the way forward with this virus, except they want to stage the timing of the contact. Now, there are those who think that, well, the goal is to keep all contact from happening, but that's not actually the case. And that will become more and more clear as these weeks unfold, that as contact is reintroduced, that isn't going to be a sudden enormous amount of deaths, because there have been some that have developed the immunities already, and there are going to be phases of exposure, so to speak, and people have been building their belief systems around that we've done the right thing, we have quarantined, we have mitigated, and so we have controlled the level of infection. And that is the case. And you already see that human beings do not like to be thwarted or to be told not to act. They're already starting to rebel against it and saying, well, can't I choose for myself? I think I can be responsible. And so what's happening now in your world is people, through will, are vocalizing their desire to interact and to step up as individuals, to be responsible individuals. And that is the change that is happening. Because it is easy to say, certainly so, the governments have been responsible, they have been responding to the information, and as the information changes, they continue to respond. But nobody wants, at the end of the day, to have the government say everything about what you should do or shouldn't do. And it is important to simply gather more information and respond according to the new information. And so part of your programming attention can be that each week new information comes to light and changes everything for the better, with harm to none. Because the scientists are working quickly, the manufacturers are working quickly, the legislation as well is responding. And so there is an enormous economic question here as well, isn't there? And well, so that's part of to come up with solutions. How do you balance the business requirement of being in business in order to run the economy with the health and medical question of the level of exposure? And so that is, there is no right or wrong, but each week it changes, doesn't it? And it's always based on, well, what are the latest numbers? What are they telling us? And there are brilliant minds working on this matter. And that is what's so wonderful as well about the fact that this is a global issue. It's not a local issue. The global brilliant minds are working on solutions every day, just as you are, as mapmaker magicians, are dreaming the new world and the path forward to that new world. And this is part of this chaos, is part of that change, isn't it? It's part of the breaking apart what was so that what's new can emerge.
Yeah, I support all of that. I think that I think maybe our neck of the woods probably could use a little bit of balancing in the direction of being aware of the needs of small business owners to be able to survive. And I think that's a little bit out of balance here. And also what contributes to that is like the governor, her public pronouncement. And I'm hearing this echoed by many different public officials that and this is the terms that it's being put in. Make no mistake about it, it's going to take longer than you want to return to normal, and things will not return to normal until we have a vaccine. And there's no acknowledgement of highly effective treatments. And that's the other part of it, is that there is a certain there's a certain, let's just say, only a shallow understanding at work here. Oregon is a state with a thriving naturopathic community. Naturopaths here can prescribe antibiotics. They have a lot of they have the prescription privileges of regular doctors. So, and there's some notable colleges of natural medicine and oriental medicine. So it's very, very a good community here. And to hear the governor say that there has to be a vaccine, and not just our governor. So I think I'm just hoping that, or hoping what, wanting to program or work in the question to try to figure out how to have impact on that limited thinking that is out of balance, that is too fearful, that is taking precautions that are going to turn out to have a bigger impact in other areas for just keeping the economy shut down. So
yes. And so the path forward in that respect is really through the testing mechanisms, isn't it? To have a very easy way to get a test, to have quick results. And that's also being worked on, isn't there? Isn't there a test?
Well, I would say not just that, but our county is ready, like one of the 5 bullet points, because I read it, they are satisfied with the testing. There isn't a backlog of testing in our county. There's like the cases have been on a downward trend, there's adequate testing, and there's 2 other things. And then the last thing, or the first thing, is they don't have the contact tracers, and they're thinking it's going to take them, what, a month to hire 150 so that's sort of where the energy is stuck. And that's sort of where it would be most practically, helpful to have a shift there and have them turn out to say, hey, it wasn't that hard to hire these contact tracers. We found them, we were just giving ourselves extra time. We're very happy to announce that we're going to be able to open up early. It's sort of what I want to try to have a little bit of impact on here. So.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful.
And that people would not be limited by the vaccine requirement, because that's a manipulation to say that don't think, things will not be back to normal until we have a vaccine. That's a manipulation, whether they know that or not, because there isn't a guarantee of a vaccine. They don't have a lot of efficacy. A lot of people aren't going to take them. So what's going on, and that's sort of something that, it's Abraham, all the different unseen friends that we have, they've commented about vaccines being, in fact, this whole thing happened with an inordinate focus on vaccines. It's coming out now. So not to go too much into the information, but they were looking at how to create, gain of function, all these sorts of things. People can kind of look into it for themselves. But it was the vaccine paradigm that brought this about. In my view. So I think that's to somehow have a shift in that thinking, and to have people say, no, thank you. We don't think vaccines are the way forward, and we want to, recognize that there are treatments and people can take they can do things for their immune system, vitamin C, vitamin D, all those, and the alkalinizing that you mentioned. So that would be it. I just to ask for some help shifting that stubborn thought.
Yes, wonderful. Absolutely.
Thanks for helping with that. Washington County, Oregon. Very few cases, you know. Anyway, thank you.
Certainly so. And we are listening between the words as well here, because what comes to the forefront is that the past is falling away. And certainly so, the vaccine approach is part of the past, isn't it? It is one of the things that has changed during this time with people being quarantined. That is not the preferred word, but we will use it because it actually does bring up some patterns that need to be released. So as people are at home, they have become more self-reliant. They have become more interested in looking for information online and to talking to others about, well, what should I do? What can I do? What if I do get ill and I'm not allowed to go to the hospitals? For instance, the hospitals were turning away people initially because there wasn't a test. And so now the test is there and that is not the issue. But in this time, people have become more self-reliant. They have become less involved with the medical community unless they were seriously ill, of course. It never occurred to them that the healthcare system wasn't robust enough to handle anything that came their way. And so it's very interesting once you realize that, oh, well, if I can't really count on it, what are my other choices? And as you know, more choices means more power, more empowerment. And so that is what is happening as well within people, is there is that shift to taking responsibility and to empowering themselves with information, with choice. And that really is the path forward.
Yeah, I would hope that will become more prevalent. That's sort of what I'm hoping that people will.
Yes, yes. It takes some time to shake it all out, but it is happening very quickly. It is exponential shifts that are happening. Wonderful. A very good question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara.
Certainly so. We love you so. And so who is next?
I have a question.
Yes, dear one.
You're talking about, seeing, and you're talking about all these vibrant colors. But I see it's vibrant, but I see pastel colors. Does that have?
And that is all. It does not mean that you are not seeing them correctly. We know of you as an artist that you do brilliantly. And so with a pastel, understand there is always white light added to the mix. And so that would imply crown chakra, seventh chakra, and higher chakras. And then one other color, one other chakra. And so for those of you who have a similar circumstance, to consider, well, what does it mean that I have a seventh chakra connection and then one other? Perhaps one leads you to open to the love and the light. And so that other color that is part of it is important, is significant, and does play a role. And so, dear ones, we have enjoyed this time with you this evening. And so we'll bring it to a close as we go for now with love and peace as we bring Katrina back. Until next time.
Thank you, Tara.